Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is M.alfaridho from class 3B. In this video, I will reading and analyzing a poem from Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven. Let's begin. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, merely napping. Suddenly there came a tapping, as of some one gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak of December, and each separate dying ember wrote its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had to borrow from my books secrets of sorrow. Sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken sad, uncertain lashing, and each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating my entrance at my chamber door. Some lad visitors entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mother ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, the stillness gave no token, and the only word there was spoken was the whispered word "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word "Lenore." Merely this and nothing more. Back into chamber turning, all my souls with me burning, soon again heard tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still, and a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung sutter, when with many flirt and flutter in there Step steadily, Reverend says, days of yore. Not least of saints meant he, not a minute stop or stayed he, but with mean lord or lady, perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. Perched and sat and nothing more. And then this bonny bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the gruff and stern decorum of the accountants it wore, though thy crest be shorn and seven, so I say, Arthur no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering from nightly shore, tell me what thy lordly name is on nice Plutonian shore, quoth the raven, never more. Much I marvel this ungainly foe to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little really fancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast upon the sculpture bursts above his chamber door, with such name as nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther then he uttered, not a farther then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered. Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, never more. Startled at the stillness broken by reply, so apply spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters only stole and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster follow fast and follow faster, till his song one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, never more. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling. Straight I will a cushion sit into front of bird and bus and door. Then upon the velvet sinking I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking, what is this ominous bird of yore? What this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore? Man in crooking, nevermore. This I said, engaged guessing, but no syllable expressing to the foe whose fiery eyes now burn into my bosom's core. This and more I said, defining with my head at easy recycling on the cushion velvet lining lamb-like gloated o'er, but velvet violet lining with lamplight gloating o'er, sea selfless, ah, nevermore. Then, methought the air grew denser, perfume on unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkle on the tufted floor, whereat wretch I cried, thy God had lent thee. By these angels he had respite, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, never more. Prophet, said I, things of evil, prophet still, if bird of devil or devil, whether tempter sends or whether tempter tows thee her sore. Desolate yet undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted. Tell me, truly, I implore, is there, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thinks of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul to sorrow, with sorrow laden, if within the distant Eden. Its soul claps sainted maiden, whom angels name Lenore. Claps a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, never more. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I sinken absurd, get thee back to the tempest of night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token that light thy soul had spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bus above my door. Take thy beat from out my heart, and take thy from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bush of palace just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of demons that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on death on the floor shall be lifted never more. Next is the analysis of the poem The Raven. The Raven is one of Edgar Allan Poe's poems first published in 1845, and it's the most famous piece of Poe. The Raven is about unnamed narrator's journey into madness after realizing he never forget his lost Lenore, which is his his partner of love. Yeah. First, we analyze the figure of speech. there is metaphor, simile, personification, apostrophe, and else. First is metaphor. Metaphor is figurative word which words is include in object and action that cannot apply literally, but metaphor define a word expression which use literally shows one type of thing or action apply to thing action very different without affirming a comparison. For example, in the raven, and and his eyes have all seeming of demons that is dreamings. The word describes the meaning which eye looks like demon's eye. Is dreaming so clearly the meaning the word describes and explains the meaning of the word itself. It's not is like describe the demon's eye describing the with the eyes look like, but it's not literally the demon's eye. And similarly, is figurative language uh, with something compared to something else using word like or as. One of the similar in the Raven is in the line, on the morrow he will leave me as my hopes have flown before. The poem compares the man's hope to the bird flight, saying that his hope will soon fly away, much as the bird will. Next is personification. Personification uh, is figure of speech which either in an animate object or abstract concept that is discussed if something being discussed gifted was gifted with life or giving like human like feelings. So the the example of the raven in the described in stanza 2, the narrator described the embers in the fire are projecting their ghosts upon the floor. Of course, embers is inanimate. They do not have souls. They cannot have ghosts. But it's not literally. It's making the non-human things have human feelings, like have souls. Okay? And then apostrophe. Apostrophe is used literally to allow a character to pick an object, abstract idea, absent person, or someone who doesn't exist. If it's if is it living present person. In the Raven, poet speaks visiting Raven, though is the Raven is present, but the poem the poem describing the raven as apostrophe. And then is allusion. Allusion is figure of speech, form, reference, place, person, or even, which is considered general knowledge and easily understood by many people. And then in the poet, the Raven example of allusion is perch upon a boast of palace, refers to place called palace. Palace itself is the name place given by ancient Greek of goddess of Athens. Hy- Next is hyperbole. Hyperbole is a figure of speech in the form of an exaggerated statement or the fact that the possibility is very exaggerated. Like uh, the word like just like in this level, but with hyperbole, it could be exaggerated in this level, like that. Uh, Hyperbole in the Raven is radiant maiden. The word given exaggerated meaning, the rarer aura that appears like the girl shining like an angel. Uh, that is so exaggerated. We with uh, if it just a girl, it's like this level. But if we exaggerate it, put hyperbole in the word girl, like radiant maiden, it could be like this level, exaggerated. And then oxymoron. Oxymoron is figure of speech that justifies concept with opposing meaning with the word of praise that creates ostensible self-contradiction. In this poem, Reverend Poe decided use oxymoron to describe main character fear and desperation for his lover to come back to him. His lover had been main character, was feeling the loss all the time. When the bird tapped at the window, the main character felt terror, but because the loss of his lover was still a fresh wound, he felt a small glimmer of hope in the tapping, thinking that he would be able to find answer in whoever was tapping. Next is metonymy. Metonymy in is is figure of speech, name of object or concept replaced with word closely related to. For example, in the raven can be found in stanza 11. Doubtley said I, what is utters it's only stoke and store. Stoke and store here replace the word nevermore. The only thing that the raven can speak. Next is synecdoche. Synecdoche is part of something referred to whole. This example of synecdoche in the poem The Raven is in the word darkness there in stanza 4. Darkness interpreted the whole thing the writer sees is nothing, only the dark of the night. But it doesn't mean he sees darkness only. Okay. Next is symbol. Symbol is literacy device. Use symbols by be they uh, although they words, people, marks, location, abstract ideas to represent something beyond literal meaning. Some example in poem The Raven is Lenore, The Raven, and Nepenthe. Next is of device of repetition and sound. First is rhyme. Rhyme in Edgar Allan Poe's poem The Raven use end rhyme and internal rhyme. Next is assonance. Assonance is the repetition of similar or identical vowel sounds. For example, in the poem The Raven, while I pondered, weak and weary, the poet used the combination of the combination of air, weak in weak and weary, which is assonance. Next is alliteration. Alliteration is where the same consonant repeated at the beginning of two more or more words next to or close to each other in a sentence. The example in the Raven poet is follow fast and followed faster till his soul's burden bore. In this sentence, there is repetition of first consonant, which is the letter F. Next is refrain. Refrain is a phrase of line repeated interval within poem explicitly in end of stanza. The Raven use varying refrain throughout it. Its six line of stanza ends with the phrase nothing more, nevermore, which become quote the Raven nevermore. So the example in poem The Raven is the nothing more, nevermore, evermore, like that. Next is onomatopoeia. In the poem The Raven, there is some onomatopoeia uh, in the poem. For example, this some visitor muttered tapping at my chamber door. Uh, Here, muttered tapping. Uh, the sound of T Here is onomatopoeia. Okay. Next is literacy device. First is rhythm and meter. The poem's rhythm is strochoid, and the poem's meter is octameter, consists of 8 feet per line. So the raven is strochoid octameter. Theme of the poem is death. The raven explored death in physical, supernatural, and metaphorical manifestation. The narrator mourns the physical death of his beloved Lenore. Tone in the poem The Raven is dark and melancholic. The Raven used words such as bleak, haunted, ghastly, and grim to create atmosphere of despondency and sadness and depression. The words and tone become increasingly dejected and intense as narrator descends into misery, underscoring the evolution of narrator's thoughts and feelings. Okay, I think that's all for me in reading and analyzing the poems The Raven from Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.